Ain't no smoggy smoke on Rocky. Whoa, hey, here we are again, live again on Blackberry Wisdom. Thank you for tuning in. I tell you, there's just something different in the air this week. I can't say enough about how great this past weekend was. It really was a great weekend. Um, for those who know, you really know. For those who know even better how great the weekend was from family, church, and of course, that little football game that we played on Saturday. I had a one person tune in last night, and I started singing that song, and then they backed right back out. So I may have offended a an Alabama fan. So tonight we are talking again about pain, and last night we talked about pain from a standpoint. Let me throw this up here from the fact that we will always experience pain. That's just part of being human, really. Is part of being human. And I also read last night from Genesis chapter 3. And if you were here, then you heard really why we experience pain on earth. It's all because of what we understand in Genesis 3. And if you didn't hear that last night, then be sure to go and read that for yourself in the Bible, Genesis chapter 3. The whole chapter there sort of lays out the fall of man and how sin came and how God said, because of that, basically, there will be pain in this earth. So go back and read that when you get a chance. But tonight, I'd like to talk. I've got a couple examples talking about pushing past your pain to know your limits. Or we're going to have pain. We've already established that, right? But how can you use that pain and understand? You know what? I don't want to get. I don't want much pain. But if you experience some pain and push past it, you'll know some limits that you have, and that these could be mentally, could be emotionally, the limits that we have pain in those things, and we might want to push past those. But I'm going to talk about some physical things tonight, that a couple examples just to show you where I have experienced some pain and it's helped me. So the first one is push-ups. Now, when I was in the army, we did push-ups quite often. A few years ago, before my son got married, we decided that we were going to get to a certain level of push-ups every day before before his wedding. So we started this push-up challenge, and I thought, you know what, I can do push-ups. This is not a big deal. But I didn't know what my limit was. And I would go until failure. I'd do push-ups until failure. And then I knew pretty much what my limit was on push-ups, right? I knew how many I could do a day, how many I could do without hurting myself, right? So I sort of gauged that by how many push-ups we did. The other example is we have a little race here in Corrigan that they call the possum chase. This year it is at the end of October, and if you are a runner, a racer, then I invite you to come be a part of it. It's a great race in downtown Corrigan. And a few years ago, I got in my mind that, you know what, I think I'd like to. It's in my hometown. It's right here. I think I'd like to go ahead and run in that race. Now, set the backdrop for you. I had not ran. And when I say run, I mean jog, really. Okay. I had not jogged since I was in the Army, and really sort of forgot why I didn't run. So I thought, you know what? I was in my 50s. I thought, well, if I go slow, then I could work up and I could be able to run this 5K race. They had a 2 miler and a 5K, I think is what it was. I said, I'll do the 2 miler. There you go, 2 miles. It's, I can't die from 2 miles. Well, I could, but I didn't think I could. So I started to train to prepare for the Corrigan possum chase. I started training down at the high school, and I would run on the track. And first, winded, I couldn't go very long at all. I'd go once around the track, and then I'd go twice around the track. Now, okay, I'm starting to get a little wind about me. And then once I worked up to the third and fourth time around the track, I started to notice something. My shins hurt from running. And it reminded me back from when I was in the Army. One of the reasons that I actually got out of the Army was that when I ran, and we ran quite a bit, I was developing shin splints. And man, if you ever had shin splints, they hurt. They hurt not only while you're running, but after you're finished, they'll hurt for some time afterwards. Okay. So I remembered at the end of my time in the Army, I was having these shin splints, and it really, really hurt. I hadn't ran since then. It quickly came back to me that, oh, I remember now that I don't like to run, and it hurts me to run. Not necessarily because I'm overweight, and it may have something to do with it. I'm not going to say it does or it doesn't. That's not for me to judge at this point. I just know that it hurts. But to finish the story, I did run / walk the 2-miler race that year. I ran probably half of it, got to hurting with shin splints, turned around at the halfway point, walked back, ran, walked. Finished it. I was so happy. Of course, I finished strong. I knew other people there that were watching, so you got to finish the last distance there. The people see cresting the hill there, coming towards the finish line, and you gotta finish strong then. So I finished strong then, but I pushed myself past the pain, and I learned one thing. I learned my limits. I learned that I'm not a runner. Now I could walk. I could have walked it. Maybe I should have did a speed walk, but I didn't do a speed walk. I know that I'm not a runner. And through that experience, I know my limits. I can run a little bit, but not a lot. The next year, you know what I did? I volunteered. I volunteered at the Corrigan Possum Chase and have ever since then. It's a great event, like I say, and it also benefits the Corrigan Food Pantry. So if you're a runner, walker, jogger, trotter, come on out. I have no idea what the cost is. It costs something, but you get a funky T-shirt that they give away, and you get out in nature for a great event. So there's that. Maybe you have your own physical limitations. You know what your limits are because you've been to the limit, right? You may know your limits emotionally. You know when to stop. At work sometimes I just got to walk away. I know what my limits are. Before I say something ugly to somebody, let me just get up and walk away. That's probably best for me, and it's best for the other person as well. Know your limits. Know your limits because you've pushed yourself to your pain point. Okay. So that's all I've got for tonight, really, to talk about pain. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk about how you learn from your pain. How you learn from your pain. I see Aunt Sheila's there. Hey, Aunt Sheila. I know others are tuning in live. Others of you will watch this recorded. I am thankful for each and every one of you who have and or will watch this. Also ask you, if you will, if you've not bought a copy of my book, where's it at? It's over here. What? Blackberry Wisdom. It's available on Amazon. Today, you can have it shipped to you you can have it by the weekend. If you bought it tonight, you could have it by the weekend. But I'm really asking if you would give me a rating. If you have an Amazon account and you go to my book page, you can go down to the bottom and leave a rating. I really, really, really need ratings. That's important to the how Amazon determines if it is a successful book or not. So if you would do that, I would so greatly appreciate it. So greatly appreciate it. So with that, hey, there's a neighbor, Wendy. Hey, Wendy. With that, I'm going to sign off for tonight. It won't be tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's Wednesday night. I'll be at church. I hope you are as well. Thursday night, we'll be back to talk about learning from your pain. And I've got a couple of examples that are really personal to me that I want to share. So if you would tune in Thursday of this week, and we'll finish our session on pain. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and I wish you blessings as you navigate the seasons of life.